All right, another moment for Elegbetetv Table Talk. It's me again, your brother and your friend, Edafi Matthew Esegene. And today there's a potpourri of subject to talk about. Is the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo by Juventus, a football deal or a business deal. Is Emery one of those who will surprise us this season by winning the EPL? Is Jose Mourinho walking the tight line? Is Jose Mourinho plotting his own sack for another big payday? Can we safely say that Liverpool are ready to surprise everybody and win the Premier League title for the very first time in about 30 years? Uh, that's a long time. I just say 30 now makes me remember sport does not win anything. What about Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich? From what we've seen them play in preseason, can we safely say that there's going to be a shift of power this season in Germany? Is Borussia Dortmund climbing up to win the title over Bayern Munich this season, or this is just preseason form? With new owners at AC Milan, what do you think? Is AC Milan going to have it easy this time around? So many questions begging for answers, and we will try to answer them one after the other. But it's not just me alone; it's you guys out there and myself that will come together and do justice to it. It's in your court, it's in your hand. Let's break it down a bit and see how it goes. Yeah, I didn't even start before. Yeah, Peter, I say good to be here. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to you too, Peter. It's a lovely time to be on the show, and let's get the show started. I think we'll start with you guys popping up your questions. There's somebody else viewing that I can't see their name because they've not actually dropped any question. They've not said anything. But let's hope that as we go, they will drop their question. But let me start with you guys. Peter, do you think that Emery can surprise everybody and get the much coveted trophy? Can he get the needed victory and lead Arsenal to the Premier League title, surprise everybody? Somehow, there's a theory in England that it's a cancel to cancel. Man United and Man City will cancel themselves out. Liverpool and Spurs will cancel themselves out. Different teams will cancel each other out, and then eventually, we would see a champion in Arsenal. How true that is. Not forgetting the Chelsea factor as well, and the whole, all the stuff. So let's start with you guys. What do you think? Can Unai Emery surprise everybody? Oluwafemi Falola, so my bros, I hail you too. What the numbers are rising there. I was just talking about the headlines, the topics that are up for discussion. Latif Ashiru, good afternoon, sir. Nice to be here. It's my first time live. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And it's nice to have you guys here. So I was just talking, I was asking these questions as I was dropping all the bullet lines one after the other. I asked, is Unai Emery set to surprise everybody and win the Premier League title for Arsenal after I played it very, very long time? It's about 14 years now the last time they won the Premier League title. Is Jose Mourinho, from his utterances, his body language, and his behavior since the start of preseason, is Jose Mourinho walking the tight line to get sacked? Let's not forget that he's built a tradition for himself over the years of getting himself sacked in his third season. This is his third season with Manchester United, if my memory serves me right. Is he walking that line? If Tottenham Hotspur does not win anything this season, can we safely say that Mauricio Pochettino should be put under the spotlight and pressured to say he has not succeeded very well. What about Juventus and Cristiano Ronaldo? Is that a footballing transaction or purely business transaction? Because there are no guarantees that they will win the Champions League, but they don't need Cristiano Ronaldo to win the Italian Serie A. New owners at AC Milan. Do you guys think that AC Milan will come back again to the era where they used to be the super dominating force in European football? Now we hear that they are offering Conte 5.5 million to take over Gennaro Gattuso's job. What about in Germany? Is there a slight possibility that with the kind of form that Bayern Munich are showing in this preseason and the type of form that Borussia Dortmund are showing, do you think somewhere in the midst of all of this, do you think that Borussia Dortmund might just upset the apple cart and become the champion come May? Well, all these are the topic for discussion. Anyone that tickle your fancy, anyone that you think you have an answer to, throw it up there. If there's something also you want us to talk about, throw it up there. It's Elegbetetv table. My name is Matthew. And so, whatever happens, thank you very much. You see, we just the waka come here. We're just starting. Actually, it was 6 minutes 48 seconds on the clock. Varesto says, "Hello, I greet Team Elegbetetv. Thank you very much. I was super duper regular. I say co-presenter now, most consistent viewer. Mr. Precious, he said, good afternoon, boss. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to join today. Thank you very much. Pippin Flay said, though, it's a season of uncertainty for Arsenal from their transfer activities build up and the tactics that he would employ, which is 4-3-3. That's he's talking about Unai Emery. I asked him a question earlier on. Does he think that this is the season where Unai Emery, where Arsenal upsets everybody and win the Premier League title? God, Chukwudi say finally I'm early today. Special greetings. Yes, you are. Oluwa Femi Falala. He said Ronaldo can be the X factor for Juventus to win that UCL. Okay, let's see. We say no team has lost in the finals of the Juventus of the finals of the UEFA Champions League than Juventus. Let's see how that goes. Oluwafemi Falala say Juventus have a strong backline already. Okay, Oluwafemi Falala. Then they say their team is strong. Peter Pitflow said, with all these in place, I believe Arsenal will make top 4 and build up from there next season. But as the EPL title, no surprises from them. Ogochi Chukwudi said Arsenal will be great this season, though I don't see them lifting the trophy, but they won't be as disappointing as I have always seen with Arsene for some time now. Yes, I quite agree with just about everybody's contribution and what you guys are saying. But on the Arsenal matter, this is what I think. I think that I want to give them the first 10 games. I want to see Lucas Torreira play as he's still in front of the defense. I also want to see how the chemistry of the team work, especially after a defeat. Winning is okay, but after a defeat, let's see how it goes from there, and then I can judge them. Because sometimes I also want to see them take a 2-goal first half defeat and see how they will react as in coming back from that position, and they will take it up from there. So many things, on the ground. He's a new coach. I'm willing to give him as much as he wants to take. We've given Jurgen Klopp about three seasons now to get his act together, and he's been building gradually. I think one of the things that is nice about Unai Emery is the fact that with Unai Emery now in charge of Arsenal, what's it called? Ivan Kazidis can eventually do the job that he was hired to come do, that Wenger has never allowed him to do. That is run the transfer show very well, do the business very well, just like David Dane was doing in the early days of Arsene Wenger. And it also means that transfers will not linger to the end of the season. Arsenal still need a few players actually, but they've not done all that. But the way they are, fantastic. For me, they are very, very fantastic. They are doing well. Would they win the title? I don't think so. Do I think that they'll make the top 4? They seem to look a team that will make the top 4. If they don't make the top 4, it will surprise me come the end of the season. Lastly, I still feel Liverpool needs to get a better centre-back to partner Virgil van Dijk. I agree with you. Lovren is always a disaster waiting to happen. We still don't know how well Keita and Fabinho is going to adapt. Ox will be missed. Yes, the burst of pace, the speed, the high pressure that Oxlade-Chamberlain brings to that midfield would be missed because he gives them a different dimension. But believe you me, I think Keita will slot in very well. If Fabinho fits in very well, it means that Liverpool would have solved their problem 90% because they have a good goalkeeper right now. They have Fabinho, they have Keita, they have Henderson. Man, they have those three men up front who are fantastic. Firmino really needs to break away from that Brazilian flop thing from the World Cup and come back into the form he was last season and even do better. Mo Salah seems to have forgotten all of the failure from the World Cup with Egypt and the Champions League finals, which is very good. Sadio Mane for me, happy to get the number 10 jersey. So he's pretty much, in the place where he wants to be. Hopefully he can lead them right. Where I think there's a problem, for Liverpool, is the same place where Latif Asiro has just raised. I think Virgil van Dijk needs a player like Toby Alderweireld to pair with him in that place. Lovren truly is a disaster waiting to happen, and that just might be one of these. I've said that let's move to Manchester United. I think Manchester United have problems who's not having faith in the players he's got, and there are so many players who are not comfortable with the way it is because Mourinho is beginning to show that he's not winning matches on tactics. I mean, you just have to spend money to win. And the following thing with this is first season Pep Guardiola came in, didn't get the kind of players he needed. He kicked a lot of players out, and everybody was complaining. Then he bought in the kind of players he wanted, and we saw he won the Captain One Cup against Arsenal and won the league title by a million miles. Got 100 points, scored everybody. That's result. Jose Mourinho have also spent quite a lot, and the team is still not in shape. That's scary. Anyway, let's go back again to your comment. I'm also Precious. You say Arsenal will be playing Man City and Chelsea consecutively as their first two games. Is this good omen? Well, what's the worst that can happen? Arsenal is on the dip. So this is exactly what I think would happen. Arsenal is on the dip. If they lose those first two games, everybody will still take it that, well, Unai Emery has not settled into the Premiership. Welcome to the Premiership. He has to bounce back, which is also not good anyway. But then you look at the Man City. If they get a draw against Manchester City and able to beat Chelsea, it's fine. Chelsea would be playing that attacking football under Sarri. The thing with playing attacking football is you are susceptible to conceding goal. That's what happens to Liverpool. When you play gung-ho, possession, going forward, you sometimes lose that stinginess at the back because your fullback are flying forward, trying to support the attackers, trying to get something. Then there is something that just misses. If the opposition gets the ball and do a quick break, Arsenal is not a quick breaking team anyway, but if the opposition gets a quick break and gets going, they just might hold it over you. But, I mean, if they draw against Man City and win against Chelsea, boom, the era of the Emirates have started, and it has started very well. JC number 12, football show. Please, babe, bring down the volume of that team. Said Man City will win the EPL again. Arsenal will make it top four. They will do well at Europa. If they do well in the Europa Cup, it will be fantastic. I mean, if I'm Unai Emery, that's what I'll focus on. At least bring a continental title to them, because honestly speaking, Unai Emery knows that if he wins the Europa, he is at par with everything that Arsene Wenger has achieved at Arsenal. That is the truth. Sentimental people will not agree, but one Europa Cup trophy would mash up with every single title that Wenger has won, considering the fact that Wenger spent 22 years there, got to two European Cup finals, one in Champions League, one in UEFA Cup against Galatasaray and FC Barcelona, and he lost both of them. If he gets to that final and wins it in his traditional way of winning UEFA Europa Cup, it would be rated up there, because the last time Arsenal won anything on the continent was 1994 against Parma, I think in Copenhagen. 1-0 over Parma, and that was the Cup Winners' Cup. Since that time to now, Arsenal in Europe is just go mark up the numbers and get knocked out. So let's see how that goes. Pete Phil said it's either a break or make season for Jose Mourinho, considering the third season antecedent of Jose. Jose needs to sort out his defense line, else they will be going on the meltdown. They're already melting. They're melting like chocolates on heat right now. Odo Donald, he said, good morning, sir. Where are you reaching us from? Because if you say good morning by 3:25, I need to know where you're reaching us from. It's important. We're all building up a community here where we'll discuss our favorite games, for us, football especially. Odo Donald, they said, good morning, sir. Elegbetetv is feeling good hearing from you. Thank you very much. You guys asked for it. He said I should create a platform where we can all have this conversation, and that's exactly what we are having. So I have a 15 minutes show on radio, but 15 minutes is not enough. There is no interaction. So this is what we do the interaction, and it's Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. It's called the Elegbetetv Table Talk. So we are on the table and we're having a talk like good friend. Everastus is they say, would Mourinho have to upgrade his game from defensive style to attacking one? I doubt he has the technique to accomplish so. I believe Chelsea has joined the set of attacking teams. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Peter Pinkflow says, Jose lacks is kind of that players which I don't know whose fault it is. Ogoji Chikudi said Jose has failed to evolve like the crop of tacticians currently coming to limelight. That is his problem. And then Ogoji Chikudi went on to say he keeps excuses and he keeps making excuses. I guess that's what you want to say. Pointing finger for every bad play when he should fix his own issues. I agree with you 1,000 times over and over again. But having said that, let's go to Pep Guardiola a little bit. I'm worried about Man City for one, and this is my worry. Aguero doesn't seem to be very happy. Gabriel Jesus is not turning out to be the Messiah that everybody thought he would be. By Messiah, like the guy who would just show up and bang in a lot of goals. And I've said this before. I've said this in the last 2 or 3 seasons, and it's the same thing. I've said that Brazilian flair players don't do well in the Premiership. There are 2 types of Brazilian players. The stiff one, those Gilberto Silva, Fernandinho, Paulinho kind of group of players that started with Edu at Arsenal, remember? And then the ones that are very slicky, who likes to romance the ball, who likes to really have fun with the ball. And in the Premiership, let's go back a bit. Let's even not add Danielson and Anderson of Manchester United. Go to Rubinho and a few other flair Brazilian players that have come to the Premiership. They've struggled, and eventually some others have also refused to sign for Premier League team because the English way kind of like stifled them, and then the pace of the English game is too fast. It doesn't give the time on the ball. So sometimes it's difficult. Firmino is doing well a little bit. Coutinho came to Liverpool and kind of like, okay, changed the trend, but he's not really a dancer on the ball that much. But I think that if Man City don't sort that center forward position of getting a goal scorer with killer instinct, and the relationship between Sergio Aguero and Pep Guardiola does not get better, that just might affect them. But I am nominating them as my odds-on favorite to win the title. Liverpool is my number 2 in that order. Liverpool also look like they don't have any excuse this season. They don't have any excuse, and they have no reason going for the lesser trophies. This is a team that should go straight up to win the title. I don't know what will happen, but let's see. Latif Asiru said, how will Pep play with Sterling and Mahrez in the same team, considering Sané and De Bruyne is untouchable? Well, nobody is untouchable. I think the reason why Mahrez was signed is that from a technical point of view, Raheem Sterling is part of the weakest link of Man City. And when I say this, it's surprising to people. I was in a place with some guys, and I said that Raheem Sterling is the weakest link of the team, and they're like, "What are you saying? He had his best season." I said, "Yes, he had his best season. He had a great season, yes, but he's still the weakest link in terms of these techniques required to play the Pep Guardiola style." Raheem Sterling is like a lesser version of the Pedro that played for Pep at FC Barcelona. So he's looking for technically gifted players to also bring dynamics in case they are not looking to run. Because sometimes all Stanley does is to run. You understand? So if they're not looking to run, they're looking for openings where they could, break the valve, like really, really cut it open by outsmarting, at thinking the opposition. You need a marriage. So I think what happens here is a Man City that will be different playing in the first half and another one that will play in the second half. The squad is getting depth, but I worry about the striking position because the two people leading the line doesn't seem to me like your 30 goals a season player. But if you look at the number of chances that Man City creates, I mean, in the last 2 seasons, look at chances that Man City creates, to be very, very fair to every other player in the Premiership. Man City players should be winning the Premiership highest goal scorer by, say, 40, 45 goals based on chances created. But then you also have players like Kevin De Bruyne, who, for me, is my best player of the Premiership last season, who's fantastic. You also have Silva, but Silva is getting older. Then you have, what's the other guy? There's another guy. Is it? No. There's another Silva in Manchester City, right? Yeah, the other Silva. Not David Silva, no, the other Silva. And then there is the Bernard Mendy and the rest of them. But at the back too, there is still a little bit, the jury is still out on Laporta. John Stone had a good World Cup anyway. Had a good World Cup as far as I'm concerned. A great one at that. But the jury is still out on a few people. One player at Man City that the jury is always going to be out on is Kyle Walker. It was the weakest link of the English team at the World Cup as well. And a whole lot of that. But let's see how that goes. Now let's get off Man City. Well, I'm waiting for your comment. Now this is a place where I need your comment. Yeah, Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is the person I was trying to remember now. Yeah. All the names of have you noticed that the names of Man City, they are all kind of like interwoven, interconnected? There is Bernardo Silva, David Silva, there is Bernard Mendy, But let's get past that. Now there's a place I need to get to now. There's a team I need to get to. Tottenham Hotspur. Everybody, they've gone on a fantastic job that Mauricio Pochettino has done. I thought that the title that Leicester won, they should have won it, but somehow they did not. And just that has ruined it for them. So right now, it is 0. Okay, Benjamin Mendy. Thank you. Hey, I don't know. This becoming a CEO thing is really messing my brain up. Sometimes I don't forget football. I know why. It's because I don't do the regular everyday research, preparing for analysis anymore, like I used to do when I was in radio. So there's a whole lot on my plate. Like you have to sign this document, you have to go for this meeting, you have to talk to this person, you have to meet this person. Man, he's been meeting after meeting. CEOs, they try. Respect company owners. But that said, Peter said, he said Dortmund looks like a team that have evolved in all areas, and I see them going toe-to-toe with Munich and possibly still the title under Bayern's nose. It might be the result of double leg encounter. Okay, that's possible. Okay, so I was on my thought was on Spurs. So I think that historically, apart from Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, it is hard. Not even Thierry Henry, not even Ruud van Nistelrooy, not even Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I've stayed on the course with one club for 4 straight seasons, scoring goals like that. I think that's going to affect what's it called? Harry Kane. That is if he doesn't transfer, because there's still a little bit of rumor here in the next couple of days, in the next 30 days, that he would move either to Manchester United or probably move out of England, because there's a poll in Spain that says that the Madrid fans want him to go and replace Cristiano Ronaldo. A whole lot is still going on behind the scene, but I know that everybody's counting on the fact that Daniel Levy would hold his ground and make sure that he keeps his players. But even if he keeps his players, good thing that they've given Eriksen a new contract. But I think that giving Harry Kane £200,000 a week is well deserving. But you need to balance it out with the rest of his support crew, because that's how it works. When you're giving 200,000, you're kind of saying that we are here because of Harry Kane, and then the rest doesn't matter. So he needs to find a way to balance it or get it right. If he doesn't get it right, Spurs might not even make the top 4, because the other teams, if you look at the big teams, there are 2 teams that look likely to fall off, to not make the top 4. Manchester United and Chelsea. Every other team look good enough. So it's going to be a battle first. Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal on the top four look like guaranteed. Look like, this is not prediction, look like guaranteed. We're doing analysis for people misquote me. Then three other teams that fall into that yellow line of could struggle, could retain their position. Man United, Spurs, and Chelsea. Those three teams. And one of the strongest of these three is Chelsea. You know that once they get their groove going, they are back again competing for the title. So it means that that pot that Arsenal and Chelsea occupied last at the end of last season might just be occupied by Man United and Tottenham Hotspur. Well, the English Premier League this season will be full of plenty of surprise. A lot of teams are contending for it. My two favorite contenders for this season will be Liverpool and Man City. Other than that, the rest will just file in for anything that they see. Abasoy Precious says Spurs will not go beyond their current level with Pochettino in charge. They fluffed their lines when they came second to Leicester. I agree with you 100%. And I doubt that will ever. Tiki Kunat. Once again, how good is Pulisic and what position does he play? Now, Pulisic can play. The good thing with him is he can play in a lot of positions. He can play wide. He can play up through the middle. Play as a midfielder. He's both a good scorer and a creator. More like an American version of Neymar, but not. He doesn't roll on the floor. He's a good player, but hype will come in. What is also good with him is the American culture, the way people are raised in America is hard work is part of it. It hardly gets to your head unless you are Allen Iverson. So I think that it would keep working, keep trying his best to get better. But I think the Americans are beginning to upgrade the quality of their youth system. So and is producing very well because a lot of young players, and I don't know the link between America and Germany. I don't know if it was because Jürgen Klinsmann went to coach the American national team, but there are plenty young American kids who are playing in the German Bundesliga, and with time, it does not leave Borussia Dortmund by the close of the window, August 31st. I think I would have to pick them ahead of Bayern Munich as one of the key favorites to lift the German Bundesliga this season. They are overshooting, and I also don't think that Bayern will just overrun everybody. Bayern have a new coach. He's a good coach, no doubt about it, but I don't think they are giving him the materials to perform his magic. So I would have to go with Borussia Dortmund. They are also having a new coach, and he's been able to fuse this team together, keep them going. Even with all the players they've lost, they're looking like it does not matter. And that's a very, very good one. It's a good way for a new coach to come into a team. Feeling very excited about that one. Yes, let's see. Okay, Latif Ashiri say, talking about Shaqiri and the Neville brothers' criticism, what do you think? How best can Klopp deploy him? I think that first, the Neville brothers are doing the job that they are being paid to do. That's what media have become today. You need to employ a few people. When I was